Your enemies are watching you right now. They study your movements. They analyze your patterns. They wait for the moment when you reveal weakness. And the moment you do, they strike. This is the game you did not ask to play, but you are playing it whether you know it or not. Every interaction is a battlefield. Every conversation is warfare. And if you do not learn the rules that govern mental dominance, you will spend your entire life as someone else's pawn. Tonight, that changes. Tonight you learn the laws that separate predators from prey, the cold, calculated principles that Niccolò Machiavelli carved from the bones of fallen kings. These are not theories, these are weapons, and by the end of this you will know exactly how to wield them. Law 1: never appear too perfect, the trap of superiority. There's a dangerous lie that weak men believe. They think that showing strength means showing perfection. They parade their achievements. They advertise their victories. They make certain everyone knows how superior they are, and in doing so, they paint targets on their backs. Machiavelli understood something that most men never learn. Perfection creates envy. Envy creates enemies, and enemies wait in silence for the perfect moment to destroy you. The prince who appears flawless is the prince who inspires conspiracy, because human nature cannot tolerate superiority without resentment. When you display yourself as invincible, you challenge every ego in the room. You force insecure men to prove themselves by taking you down. This is the psychology of envy. It is not rational, it is primal, and it is deadly. So what does the master do? He hides his strengths behind carefully crafted imperfections. He allows others to see him struggle. He reveals minor flaws that make him appear human, approachable, less threatening. This is not weakness, this is strategy. When you appear slightly flawed, people lower their guard. They stop viewing you as a threat. They stop plotting against you because they believe you are beneath their concern. And while they relax in their false sense of superiority, you move in silence. You build your empire in the shadows while they waste energy on petty competitions with others. Understand this clearly. The goal is not to be weak. The goal is to appear just weak enough that your enemies underestimate you. Because the enemy who underestimates you is the enemy who has already lost. He will not see your strike coming. He will not prepare his defenses. And when you finally reveal your true power, it will be too late for him to respond. This is the first law. Perfection is a weakness. Strategic imperfection is strength. Law 2. Keep your intentions hidden. The power of unpredictability. Let me tell you what happens when people know what you want. They use it against you. They block your path. They create obstacles. They position themselves between you and your goal. This is why Machiavelli warned that a prince must be a great pretender and dissembler. Your true intentions must remain locked inside a vault that no one can open. When your enemies do not know what you are planning, they cannot prepare. When they cannot prepare, they cannot defend. And when they cannot defend, you have already won. Most men telegraph their moves like amateurs. They talk about their goals. They share their dreams. They explain their strategies to anyone who will listen. And then they wonder why the world seems to work against them. The world is not working against them. They are working against themselves by revealing their hand before the game is over. The master operates differently. He speaks in riddles when necessary. He misdirects attention. He lets people believe he wants one thing while he silently pursues another. He creates smoke screens and decoys. He masters the art of strategic ambiguity. Think of your mind as a fortress. Your true thoughts are the treasure room at the center. Everything you say, everything you do, these are the outer walls designed to protect what is really inside. Never give anyone a clear path to your center. Never let them know what you truly value. Because the moment they know what you value, they know how to hurt you. The moment they know what you want, they know how to stop you. Guard your intentions like a dragon guards gold. Let them guess. Let them assume. Let them create their own theories about what you are planning. And while they waste time speculating, you execute with precision in directions they never anticipated. This is not paranoia. This is practical wisdom. In a world where information is power, the man who reveals nothing holds all the cards. Be the mystery that haunts their thoughts. Be the riddle they cannot solve, And most importantly, be the threat they never see coming. Law 3. Learn to destroy your enemies completely, no half measures. Here is where most men fail. They wound their enemies but do not finish them. They strike once and then retreat, hoping the damage was enough. It never is. A wounded enemy is more dangerous than a healthy one. Because you have given him fear, you have given him motivation, and you have shown him exactly what you are capable of. Now he knows you are willing to fight. Now he prepares. Now he plots his revenge with the fury of someone who has tasted defeat and refuses to taste it again. Machiavelli was explicit about this. Men should be either caressed or crushed, because if you injure a man slightly he will seek revenge, but if you crush him completely he cannot. This is not cruelty, this is mathematics. This is understanding that half measures create more problems than they solve. When you decide to move against an enemy, you must move with absolute commitment. You do not wound, you do not warn. You eliminate the threat entirely so it can never rise again. What does this look like in practice? It means when you expose someone, you expose everything. When you cut ties, you burn the bridge so completely that reconnection is impossible. When you remove someone from your life, you remove them from every access point they once had. No second chances. No mercy born from sentiment. No leaving doors open for future reconciliation. Because the enemy you spare today is the enemy who destroys you tomorrow. This is not about being heartless. This is about being realistic. People do not forget. People do not forgive. And people who have been humiliated will dedicate years of their life to evening the score. So when you engage, engage fully. When you strike, strike to end the war, not to begin it. And when you walk away so far that they can never find you again. Complete destruction is not excessive. Complete destruction is the only logical conclusion to conflict. Anything less is an investment in your own future suffering. Law 4. Make others dependent on you. The chains of necessity. Power is not about what you can do. Power is about what others cannot do without you. The moment someone needs you more than you need them, you own them. This is the law of dependency, and it is the foundation of unshakable influence. Machiavelli knew that the prince who makes himself necessary becomes irreplaceable, and the irreplaceable man cannot be removed without destroying the system itself. Look around you. Who holds real power in any organization? It is not the person with the title, it is the person everyone needs. The one who knows the systems, the one who has the relationships, the one who controls access to critical resources. Remove that person and everything collapses. This is engineered power. This is strategic positioning. And this is how you make yourself untouchable. How do you create dependency? You become the bridge. You position yourself as the only connection between two valuable things. You become the translator, the facilitator, the gatekeeper. You make certain that crucial processes run through you. You develop skills that others do not have. You build relationships that others cannot replicate. And slowly, quietly, you become the single point of failure that no one can afford to lose. But here is the critical part. You must make this dependency feel natural. You must never let them realize they are being positioned into reliance on you. Because the moment they recognize the trap, they will work to free themselves. The master makes people dependent while making them feel empowered. He solves their problems so effectively that they cannot imagine operating without him. He becomes their most valuable asset without ever demanding recognition for it. And when the time comes to negotiate, to demand, to take what is rightfully his, they have no choice but to give it, because losing him would cost them everything. This is how you build a fortress of influence. Not through force, not through demands, but through making yourself so valuable that removing you becomes unthinkable. Be the lock and the key. Be the problem and the solution. Be the necessity they cannot live without. Law 5. Control the narrative. Whoever tells a story owns the truth. Here is a truth that will disturb you. Reality does not matter. Perception is the only reality that counts. You can be right about everything and still lose if someone else controls how your actions are interpreted. This is why Machiavelli emphasized that a prince must be a great feigner. Not because truth has no value, but because people do not respond to truth. They respond to stories. The narrative is everything. It shapes how people see you. It determines whether you are villain or hero, genius or fool, leader or tyrant. And the terrifying part? The person who speaks first, who speaks loudest, who speaks most convincingly, that person writes history. Even if they are lying, even if the facts contradict them, even if reality itself protests, perception wins. Every single time. So what do? You become the author of your own story before someone else writes it for you. You control the information. You frame the events. You provide the interpretation before anyone else can. When something happens, you do not wait for people to form opinions. You tell them what opinion to have. You give them the framework through which to view the situation. And you do it so smoothly, so confidently, that they accept your version as objective truth. This is propaganda at the personal level. This is understanding that facts alone are powerless. Facts need context. Facts need framing. Facts need a voice that gives them meaning. And if you are not that voice, someone else will be, someone who might not have your best interests in mind. Think about every conflict you have ever witnessed. Did the person who was actually right always win? Or did the person who told the better story win? The answer is always the story. The answer is always the narrative. The answer is always whoever controlled the perception of events. Master this law, and you master reality itself. Because in a world where perception is reality, the man who controls perception controls everything. Be the narrator. Be the storyteller. Be the one who defines truth for everyone else. And watch as the world bends to accommodate the reality you have created. Law 6. Use selective honesty to disarm. The weapon of unexpected truth. Most men think lying is the ultimate weapon. They are wrong. Lying is the amateur's tool. Because lies require maintenance. Lies require perfect memory. Lies create inconsistencies that alert the watchful. The true master uses something far more powerful. Selective honesty, strategic truth, calculated vulnerability. When you tell someone a truth they do not expect, especially a truth that seems to damage you, their defenses collapse, their skepticism evaporates, their guard drops, and in that moment of openness, you can plant anything you want in their mind. Machiavelli understood that the appearance of honesty is more valuable than honesty itself. One small truth, revealed at the right moment, can create an illusion of transparency that covers 1,000 hidden intentions. This is psychological warfare at its most sophisticated. When you admit to a minor flaw, people assume you have shown them everything. When you confess to a small mistake, they believe you are incapable of hiding larger deceptions. When you share something personal, they feel you have opened yourself completely. But you have not. You have simply opened the door you wanted them to see while keeping the rest of the house locked. Use this strategically. When you need someone to trust you, give them a truth that costs you nothing but feels like a revelation. When you need someone to lower their defenses, admit to something they already suspect. When you need someone to believe your next statement, precede it with an honest confession that makes you appear vulnerable. The human mind works in patterns. Truth followed by truth creates an expectation of continued truth. And you exploit that expectation ruthlessly. But never forget, this is selective honesty. You choose what to reveal. You choose when to reveal it. You choose how it is framed. You are still in complete control. You have simply learned that sometimes the most effective lie is a carefully chosen truth. This is the paradox of manipulation. The master does not avoid truth, he weaponizes it. Law 7. Never outshine your superior. The art of strategic subordination. This law has destroyed more careers than any other mistake. Talented men, brilliant men, men who deserve to rise, all crushed because they committed the fatal error of outshining those above them. Listen carefully. Your boss does not want you to be better than him. Your mentor does not want you to surpass her. Your leader does not want to feel threatened by your abilities. This is not because they are evil. This is because they are human. And humans protect their position. Machiavelli warned that those who stand above us must always feel superior. Not because they are superior, but because their ego demands it. The moment you make someone in power feel inadequate, you create an enemy who has the means to destroy you. And they will. Not through direct confrontation, but through 1,000 small sabotages that slowly dismantle your position. They will question your judgment. They will overlook your contributions. They will credit others for your work. They will create obstacles disguised as opportunities. And they will do all of this while maintaining plausible deniability. How do you protect yourself? You make your superior look good. You make certain your victories reflect on them. You give them credit publicly even when the work was entirely yours. You allow them to believe your best ideas were actually their suggestions that you simply executed well. This is not weakness. This is survival. This is understanding that your rise depends on their permission, and they will only grant that permission if they do not feel threatened. The master appears to be the perfect subordinate, while actually controlling outcomes from behind the scenes. He influences decisions while making his superior believe they made those decisions independently. He achieves his goals while ensuring credit flows upward. He builds his power in the shadows while his superior basks in the light. And when the time is right, when he has built enough independent influence, he steps out of the shadow and into his own light. But never a moment before. Never while he still depends on their approval. Never while they still have the power to stop him. Patience is the secret ingredient. Let them have the glory today. Let them believe they are the star. Because while they enjoy their moment, you are building the foundation for your future. And when your foundation is complete, when you no longer need their protection, when you have secured your own base of power, then and only then do you step into the sun. Until that moment, strategic subordination is not degrading. It is the price of admission to the game of power, the brutal truth you must accept. Everything I have told you tonight violates the comfortable lies society taught you. You were told to be authentic. You were told to be vulnerable. You were told that good things come to good people. These are beautiful stories. They are also completely wrong. The world does not reward authenticity. It rewards strategy. The world does not celebrate vulnerability. It exploits it. The world does not give good things to good people. It gives power to those who understand how power works. Machiavelli did not invent these laws. He simply observed them. He watched as the naive were crushed and the strategic survived. He studied power until he understood its fundamental nature. It is not moral. It is not fair. It does not care about your intentions. Power flows to those who understand its mechanics and apply them without hesitation. This is uncomfortable. This challenges everything you want to believe about human nature. But comfort has never created kings. Comfortable men die as peasants wondering why life was unfair to them. Uncomfortable men, men willing to see the world as it actually is, these are the men who build empires. You now possess knowledge that most will never accept. You understand laws that separate the powerful from the powerless. The only question remaining is what you will do with this knowledge. Will you reject it because it disturbs your worldview? Or will you accept it and use it to reshape your reality? The choice is yours, but choose wisely, because your enemies are not debating philosophy. They are using these laws against you right now, and they will continue using them until you either learn to defend yourself or get destroyed. Your transformation starts now. From this moment forward, you operate differently. You guard your intentions like state secrets. You make others dependent on your value. You control narratives before they form. You use truth as a weapon when lies would be obvious. You never outshine those who can destroy you. And you eliminate threats completely or not at all. These are not suggestions. These are survival protocols for a world that eats the unprepared. You will be tested. People will provoke you, hoping you react emotionally instead of strategically. They will try to extract your intentions through casual conversation. They will position themselves against you and wait for you to show weakness. Do not give them what they want. Respond with cold calculation. Move with purpose. Strike with precision. And never, ever forget that in the game of power, there is no prize for second place. If this message has awakened something inside you, if you recognize that you have been playing the game wrong, if you are ready to stop being the victim of forces you did not understand, then mark this moment. Leave a comment with the words "I see clearly now." Let it serve as your declaration that you refuse to be outplayed any longer. Subscribe to this channel and activate notifications because this is just the beginning. There are more laws to learn, more strategies to master, more weapons to add to your arsenal. Your enemies are sharpening their blades. It is time you sharpened yours. Go forth and dominate.